Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright people, so what you're seeing on screen just there is an article from Boxing Scene that was published the other day. They are talking with Zhilei Zhang, and Zhilei Zhang has mentioned the fact that Tyson Fury tentatively has a date. Wembley Stadium, July the 22nd. He is saying that he'll be ready to go July 22nd should he get the call. Now, with regards to this whole Tyson Fury situation, so as it stands, right, potentially, and I'm hoping, I'm crossing bloody everything, Tyson Fury Usyk are going to get it on in December on that big blockbuster bill with Joshua versus Wilder, potentially on the undercard. Maybe it's on a different show, I don't know, but there's talk of them going at it There's talk about them having a fight in December. So whether it's on the same bill or not, don't know. But if they can get that over the line, happy days. Great end of the year. We all want to see Undisputed. We all want to see it, but if it means that both guys have to have an interim fight in the meantime, so be it. There always is a worry, especially when two guys, especially in the heavyweight division, they are set to fight on this date, but they both got to get through their fights in the meantime. Things normally tend to go wrong or go pear-shaped, and then you set back for God knows how long and you're back to square one. We've seen it repeatedly in the heavyweight division. It adds a lot of intrigue, but it also, it's like, really? Undisputed? And anyway, right, so both guys looking like to have fights in between. Now with Usyk, it's looking like it's either going to be Dubois or Hrgovic. More than likely Dubois. I think that mandatory is the one that's being prioritised. I think the WBA kind of have first call on that one as opposed to the IBF. So likelihood is it's going to be him versus Dubois, possibly in Poland. In terms of Fury, he hasn't got a mandatory as far as I'm aware. I know there was obviously Ruiz versus Wilder was ordered, but Wilder has gone in a different direction. So Ruiz could potentially go and fight Tyson Fury. He's one of the names being listed. Also with Zhilei Zhang. Now Zhilei Zhang is the interim WBO heavyweight champion. So potentially he could forego that mandatory. Maybe it'll reset the mandatory to WBO. I don't know. And then go in there and face Tyson Fury. Now, out of those two names, Zhang or Ruiz, who would I rather see Tyson Fury go in there with on July 22nd, if that in fact is the date? And for me, it's a no-brainer. I would much rather see him go in there with Zhilei Zhang as opposed to Andy Ruiz. Although Andy Ruiz is a good heavyweight, he's a top 10. Out of all the heavyweights in the top 10, I think stylistically, he's probably the one you would say is tailor-made for Tyson Fury in a sense of slow feet, not the quickest heavyweight, good quick hands, but everything else pretty slow, not much head movement, bit of a plotter. Yeah, can throw fast combinations, can box very well on the front foot with his counter punching, but Fury ain't going to let him have any of those opportunities. He's going to keep him at his jab, he's going to outbox him and then probably try and get him out of there late. If he can't, so be it, but I can't see him having much chance against Fury. Whereas, and as well as that, with Ruiz, yeah, you could say from a marketing point of view, he's the guy who took Joshua Zoe over there in New York. He dropped him several times and he beat him. Yeah, that was 4 years ago. Well, nearly 4 years ago now. A quick 4 years, but nearly 4 years. He lost the immediate rematch. He's done virtually nothing since then. He had that fight against Chris Arreola in 21, which was forgettable. Then he had that fight against Ortiz last September, and that's it. He's done virtually nothing since then. I don't even think either of them fights were on the main major networks in the UK. I think they might have been on Fight TV or something like that. So in terms of Ruiz, he's been a bit in the wilderness, certainly on this side of the Atlantic. Whereas Zhilei Zhang, right? Zhilei Zhang fought on the AJ Usyk 2 undercard. I think he was co-main event against Philip Hrgovic. So there's that. He came very close to winning that fight. Many people felt he should have won the Philip Hrgovic fight. So there's that as well. Millions of people were watching that. Also, he's just coming off the back of a win over Joe Joyce. Now, Joe Joyce, they were trying to big him up over here and, get Joe Joyce as kind of the next guy. He just headlined the pay-per-view in his previous fight. So lots of people have seen that. He's shown that he is quite charismatic, Zhilei Zhang. Even though there's the language barrier, what he was saying and the translator was coming out with, it was making you laugh. Like, he definitely has a bit of charisma. He's got a bit of banter there. So he's not, one of these bland personality types. He's got a bit of charisma there, albeit, yeah, the language barrier is there, but the translator does the job as well, does that job for him, helps him out anyway. So from a marketing point of view, you would say that Zhang is the more known, certainly at this time of the two, certainly on this side of the pond. In terms of stylistically, as I said, Ruiz tailor-made for Tyson Fury. Whereas Zhang, the dimensions are very different. Obviously, he's a lot taller than Andy Ruiz. He's a lot longer. I still think that Fury would have the reach advantage, though, at long range. Definitely, if Fury's reach is tremendous. However, whenever I've seen Fury in there with southpaws, i.e. Otto Wallin, he's had a tendency to get clipped by the southpaw left, as he did against Wallin. What Wallin was doing in that fight was he was jabbing Fury's body a lot, and he was coming over the top of the left hand, and he was catching Fury with that left hand. In fact, obviously, we know Fury got a very, very bad cut, horrific cut, in that fight. Now, against Wallin, who was not a big puncher, and I don't think he's as good as Zhang, he was able to get away, Fury, with, taking a few of those left hands. Yeah, there was a few moments in the fight where I did think, legs stiffened a bit there. But for the most part, he was able to get through the fight. If you took those same left hands that Otto Wallin hit you with, and it was Zhang hitting you with them, you ain't going to be okay. You ain't going to be okay. Mark my words about that. Whether you're knocked out or not, Fury's shown great powers of recovery, but you ain't going to want to do it against Zhang. Just no, don't do that. So that's the intriguing part. Yeah, I'd be picking Fury to win. Certainly, I'd make him firm favourite. But I see more of a chance of drama with Zhang than I do with Andy Ruiz. Zhang has the power. He definitely isn't a bad fighter. Early on, he's very live. Although against Joe Joyce, he never really seemed to fade, even though Joe Joyce set the pace very high in that fight. Never really seemed bothered by anything Joe Joyce was given, so it seems to take a pretty good shot. And although he gassed a bit against Hrgovic, he didn't appear to gas that bad against Joe Joyce, although it only went 6 rounds. So it will be a very, very interesting fight. Be a very interesting fight for me to watch, and I find it intriguing. I find it way more intriguing than watching Fury jab Ruiz's head around for 12 rounds and, maybe get a late stoppage. I'd see way more of an interesting fight between him and Zhang, thinking, what might happen next, Could Zhang land? Could Fury do? It would be, for me, more of a watchable fight, because I'd always be kind of thinking, could he land that? Whereas Ruiz, I'd be saying, he's not going to land it. I know he's not. And even if he did, he's not as big a punter as Zhang. Fury's not chinny. He's a decent enough whiskers on him. I wouldn't say he's iron-jawed, but I'd say Ruiz would have to hit him a couple of times to put him down. So, I'd rather see him fight Zhang. If both guys have to have interim fights, obviously, Usyk against Dubois, lamb to the slaughter, I'm afraid there. I'd rather see him fight Hrgovic. If you're talking about Fury versus Ruiz or Zhang, I would rather see him fight Zhang because I think it's a more competitive fight and it's a more entertaining fight. Although I said at the start of this video, I want to see undisputed. At the end of the day, you do want to also see competitive fights. You don't want to see, for me, I don't want to see at world title level a guy go in there and with Usyk as well with a complete cream puff. Although with Usyk, it's kind of like the mandatory is Daniel Dubois, who at this stage I think mentally is just all over the place. That fight against Lorena will do one of two things. It'll either help him mentally or it'll break him mentally. And I don't know which one it's done. I'm suspecting possibly the latter. I hope I'm wrong and it turns out to be a very competitive fight between him and Alexander Usyk, if in fact that happens. I'd rather see him fight Hrgovic. Likewise, I'd rather see Fury fight Zhang. So hopefully we get it. Can't always have it both ways, but hopefully we get it at least half away. And then obviously we want to see those guys go at it in December. I really, 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 really hope that this is all part of a plan for the Saudis to get the checkbook out. They get their money, we get it on, because that's what I want to see. Because at the end of the day, people keep talking about Alexander Usyk's age. And yeah, Usyk, I think, turned 36, 37 this year. How old would he be? He was born in 1987, so he would be about 36, wouldn't he? I do believe, 36, I think. Well, Tyson Fury's 35 come August. So it's not like he's, a wee pup. It's not like that. He's getting old too. So make hay while the sun shines, lads. Make hay while the sun shines, now or never. Let's get it over the line. Let's see how it goes. For now, lads and lasses, I'll leave you with that. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'll leave you there, people. Thank you so much for locking in. Peace.